Hello everyone, GalacticStorm here, and this is another special edition of our Black Ops 3 gun guide. And I'm going to be doing something different, and yes, it's been so long. And today, we're going to be looking at one of the DLC weapons that you get from the black market, the Marshal 16, a double-barreled shotgun in the form of a pistol. Let us begin. In order to get this weapon, first off, you'll have to go buying the rare packages from the black market, which is god awful. And getting the specific weapon, like the Marshal, is pretty much next to impossible. I've seen people literally spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in order to get their weapons. But sometimes they don't even get those weapons. Anywho, let's go dive straight into the damage stats of this weapon. First, the damage is no doubt the best within the handguns. You'll be killing people within one shot, or two in the distance, and unlike the other shotguns, this shotgun fires 16 pellets instead of 8 in one shot, which we'll explain later. Your range, however, is gonna be a bit crappy. At 5 meters when it passes the one shot, and then after 15 meters you're gonna be doing little to no damage. And your penetration is low, unlike the other shotguns in the game. However, unlike the other handguns, your rate of fire is pretty slow, and it's the worst within the category. With 2.7 rounds per minute, you're gonna be hesitating on shooting on one person at a time, or even if you're in a multiple group. And so you're gonna have to pick your fights wisely. You have a free fire mode with this weapon, and your hipfire is low, like all the other pistols that you get within the category. However, when it comes to your recoil is moderate, but it's not going to be a factor. But even though that this thing has 16 pellets in one shot, it should be wise to aim down to your sights to make your tighter pellet spreads. So, when it comes to your aim time as well, your aim time is pretty swift within the pistols, at 100 milliseconds. Your speed, however, like the pistols, is a bit unusual. It's 100% when using the weapon as a single, but using it dual wield, it'll be the same as an assault rifle at 95% of the base speed. Your magazine and reload, however, is going to be the strongest weakness of this weapon. With your magazine, you have 2 shells, but this is when the 16 pellets come in. You're going to be firing both of them, so you're basically going to be shooting 1. So in your ammo supply, you're going to be getting 16 shells, but in all reality, you're going to be using the weapon 8 times before running out of ammo. And your reloads aren't the prettiest as well. You are going to be reloading every 2.5 seconds, which can leave you very vulnerable. And with a single Marshal 16, you are going to be very vulnerable, especially if your primary weapon is empty. So with the build of our weapon, we are going to rely more on this pistol, and we're going to be using one-on-one confrontations only, and we're going to be staying within tighter quarters. And we're going to be using a run and gun kit, and we're going to be using resistance, reactive, and supply as our watchword. So within the attachments, we're going to have to choose at least one of them. And our first attachment that we're going to be using as a good recommendation is going to be dual wield. Dual wield will give you 2 Marshal 16s instead of just 1. And you'll be firing 8 pellets instead of 16, but you'll still do the same damage. So, if one person's not killed, you can just use the other Marshal 16 in order to finish them off. Or if you're in a 1-on-2 confrontation, and that can definitely help. Just do keep in mind that you're still going to need to reload after each shot. But if you prefer a little bit more range onto your weapon, long barrel can definitely be a good choice, and the one-shot sweet spot would definitely be a nice idea, so you won't be going in and killing a person within 2 shots. Fast mags is also another good choice as well if you don't have dual wield unlocked. And since you're going to be reloading a lot, this is definitely a good recommendation. Now that we have the attachments out of the way, we're going to drive straight into the perks, and we're going to be using perk 1 greed to get 2 of them from the first tier. And for our first 2, a combination of resistiveness and speed. Flak jacket will be our first one because we're going to be exposed to a whole bunch of explosives at close range, especially if there's a sniper that's going to be hunkered down. And with trip mines and C4s running all over the place, it's going to be a bit of a problem. And with flak jacket equipped, you're going to be soaking them up like none other. Frags and Semtex will be utterly worthless as well, until you get hit by multiple explosives, that is. Afterburner will be our next perk choice, and your speed monitor will be refilled faster once using your jetpack at that. Sliding and using your hover jump will definitely be a nice little resistiveness when it comes to your speed. So when filling it up, you can go to areas much faster, and you can get out of there much faster as well. Second up, we are going to be going into perk 2. Scavenger is a good idea to have, especially that you're going to be using a whole bunch of ammo with the Marshal 16. And once you're going through a blue pack, you'll be refilled a magazine, a lethal, and or tactical. So use your ammo often, since you're going to be getting more ammo every time you pass through a dead body. And more tacticals and lethals at least. And we're going to round up perk 3 with the perk 3 greed wildcard, giving us 2 perks from the 3rd tier. And Gung Ho will be for our reactiveness. In case you have an enemy that's going to be coming around the corner and you're going to be caught near mid-sprint, you can definitely press the fire button and you'll have no problem at all when equipped with Gung Ho, as you will be firing while mid-sprint. Doing the same thing when it comes to your tacticals and lethals, and you can deploy them while on the move. Tech Mask is basically the opposite when it comes to Flak Jacket. Concussions, shock charges, and flashbangs will all be useless to you, especially if you're going to be accidentally tossing them towards yourself. But when snipers come around, or when enemies want to get an advantage against you, you'll be definitely resistive upon that matter. And finally, with our pick 10 choice, we are going to be choosing the flashbang grenade. It'll blind your enemy for a couple of seconds unless they have Tech Mask on. So when they're blind, you can either get in close for the kill, or you can run away and go find another advantageous position for your choice. So that's our pick 10 choice, a combo of resistivity, reactiveness, and supply, while using the Marshal 16 up at close range. And since one isn't good enough, we're going to be just use 2 of them at the same time. So in total, the Marshal 16 is the best weapon when it comes to close range one-shot kills, unlike any other pistol when it comes in the category. It fires more pellets than any other shotgun, firing 16 when it comes to the single-handed, but with dual wield you'll be firing 8 within each pistol. But also, like the shotguns recommended, you're going to be very lethal at close range. However, you do have to concern yourself with the constant reloads. It's a limited range and you have limited ammo. So all that inside, pick your shots carefully and make sure to make them count. And even such, if you use this weapon correctly, you're no doubt going to hand the law onto a whole bunch of enemies. So that's about it for this weapon guide. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and look at my Facebook page down below. And sadly, I don't think I'll be able to do any more Black Ops 3 weapon guides, just because I covered them all and getting these weapons are rare as fuck. So, and also I've been doing the Overwatch guides again, so be sure to pay attention to that as well. I hope everyone enjoys it, and until then, GalacticStorm saying, keep charging, bitches.
Halftime.